Good evening. I'm going to call the Yreka City Council meeting for August 5th, 2025, the closed session to order. It is 5:30. And do we have any public comment? We have no public comment. So I'm going to go ahead and move into the closed session to discuss Item A, conference with legal property negotiator pursuant to Government Code Section 54956.8. The property is 915 South Main Street and 927 South Main Street. Agency negotiator, Don Elsnab. Negotiating parties, Pacific Realty Associates, and under negotiation are price and terms. Good evening. I'd like to welcome you to the August 5th, 2025 Yreka City Council meeting. The time is 6:30. And will Chief Lemus, would you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
I would like to let everybody know that this evening at 5:30, the council met in closed session and we have no reportable action. We came out of closed session at 6:11 p.m. Will the clerk please take the roll call?
Good evening, Yreka City Council. Please let me know that you are present by saying aye. Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton. Councilmember Claire.
Aye.
Councilmember Baker.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the agenda. What are the wishes of the council?
Madam Mayor?
Yes, Mr. Jarrett.
Yes, Madam Mayor, as to item 11D, the discussion of possible action regarding approval of resolution regarding a municipal tax sharing agreement. That item, an issue has come up in my discussions today with a representative from the county, and we need to table that matter and hold that over to next meeting. So staff is recommending to pull that item and to not discuss it tonight.
And just to confirm, that is item 11D.
D is in dog.
Thank you so much. And that item will be brought back at the next meeting.
Correct.
Thank you so much. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
Council Middleton, I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented with item 11D removed.
I second the motion.
I have a motion from Councilmember Middleton, a second by Councilmember McCoy to approve the agenda as presented with item 11D being taken off the agenda tonight and brought forward at the next meeting. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
That second motion came from Councilman Claire. That's okay.
Thank you so much.
Reading.
Aye.
All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? No. Motion carries unanimously. There are no presentations this evening. Item number 8, public comment. Public participation is welcomed and invited at all city council meetings. This time is set aside for residents to address the city council on matters listed on the consent agenda, as well as other items not included on the regular agenda. If your comments concern an item noted on the regular agenda, please address the council when that item is open for public comment. The city requests that persons addressing the city council refrain from making personal, slanderous, profane, or disruptive remarks. Council members, when recognized by the mayor, may ask clarifying questions of presenter, but no action may be taken by the city council during the public comment section of the meeting. Under the Brown Act, the city council is prohibited from discussing or taking action on any item not listed on the posted agenda. Please speak into the microphone from the podium. The podium electronically adjusts up and down to accommodate the speaker. Please address the council as a whole. Please state your name for the record prior to providing your comments. And if you have documents to present, please provide a minimum of 7 copies as these become public record. Please limit your comments this evening to 5 minutes. And the public comment period is not intended to be a question or answer period or conversations with the council or city staff. Do I have any public comment this evening?
Good evening, Jan Osborne, Yreka, California. I'm here tonight to express my very deep appreciation to the City Council and the staff that were involved in creating the ordinance to prohibit camping and storage of property on public land. And to thank the Yreka Police Department especially for the very effective and professional job that they did in moving people from the hill. There were also some citizen volunteers that I saw up there. One man, and I'm not going to name names, but he was involved in the formation of our community cleanup committee many years ago. And he was there, and so I'm hoping he's involved, and I hope he's watching this video or listening in the cleanup that's still to come. As I understand, we're going to do 30 days of the cleanup, but there are great mounds of trash. And so I'm appreciating and thanking in advance the city workers that are charged with getting that mess cleaned up. I'd also like to extend my best wishes to the people who were removed, that they will keep moving forward with their lives, get the help that they need, and make a new beginning. That's the hill. Now, I want to talk about one other thing and thank some other people, not by name. We have been without a park host at Greenhorn Park since before July 15th. The former park host left the Saturday before. But even with that big storm that we had and all the dirt and rocks that washed on the trail, if you go out there today, it looks beautiful, the paved trail. I have seen people raking. These are just citizens who use the park, and I'm thanking them, raking and sweeping. And I think it was 2 or 3 days ago, there was a Siskiyou County Sheriff work crew out there helping with that cleanup. There is a young man who rides a bicycle out there. He found a broom and he was cleaning. These are all people who use that park, appreciate it, and love it. There's also a young woman who has been emptying the doggy buckets of the used doggy bags and the trash that was accumulating. So thank you to them. And that concludes my thank yous I hope I didn't miss anybody, because I just feel so happy to be living in Yreka at this particular time.
Mayor and council members, my name is Luther Pinley. I'm with the Yreka Seventh-day Adventist Church. I'm the community service director, and every Tuesday we prepare meals and take them to the unhoused community. And it's just heartbreaking to see people that we've come to become friends with. They're so distressed and stressed. They don't know where to go, and they're just wandering the streets. Some of these, it's wonderful that the base camp's open, and a lot of street people are using that, but a lot of people, it's not a good fit. They will not go to the base camp. They don't qualify for Siskiyou Crossroads, which is max full now. And the pallet shelter is almost full. So we still have some, these are our fellow human beings. They deserve compassion, and they're just being ran from place to place. And it's really stressful, for them. When I talk to them, I ask them where they're going to go. They don't know. We was at the coast, and on the way back, we saw some of the unhoused that we used to provide meals for. They was heading for Yreka, because they have different policies there. But I would like to see a campground set up where these people can go and feel safe, and where the behavioral health people can find them to provide services for them. Right now they make contact and then they're moving around. They can't, there's no common place where they can, call home, have an address. There's Rescue Ranch. That's a place they take homeless dogs, and they're provided food, water, and shelter until they can find a home. And they're being treated more humanely than our unhoused community right now. And it's just really sad to see. It just breaks my heart. These guys are in a tough spot. I was a drug addict and alcoholic for 20 years. And but the grace of God, I would be out there with them. It was just my mother's prayers and compassion of people that I survived till I reached a point where I seek help. A lot of these people, they might not ever seek help, but some of them might, and so it's just a blessing to be able to give them hugs, look them in the eye, call them by the name, pray with them. And Jesus died for these people just like he did for you and me, and they deserve compassion. And thank you for your time.
Oh, wait. Marie Autry. Yeah, what are we gonna do with the unhoused besides nothing? Nothing hasn't worked for many years. Absolutely nothing has done zilch. If we had done an urban campground, we wouldn't have had that mess up there on that hill. We wouldn't have had to pay the garbage bills that we are now gonna pay. So I can tell you where they're at all night long. They're in front of my house. They're in front of every storefront in this city. They're in front of the bar trying to get in. They're, how long is it going to be before we have break-ins in the store in our city? And what about the theater, which is completely empty? Have they already broken into that? Because I heard they have. I don't know, but apparently it's a good place to go at night. So we have all these places through the city that are abandoned and empty, right? By the trash, Yreka transfer station, there's a little blue place kind of boarded up. They're there. In all of these abandoned houses, that's where they are. We need to do something. And instead of just nothing, which all the other councils have done, nothing. It's your turn. Please do something. Make an urban campground. And trust me, tomorrow I'll be yelling at the county at COC. These are human beings and they need help. We have to do something. And on Monday, it's going to be 107 degrees. Base camp can only house 32 people at a time. They're not always going to be the same 32 people. It's first come, first serve. But 32 people, and we have over 300 people unhoused in the city of Yreka. We have 500 and something in Siskiyou County. They're not all going to go away. They're not all going anywhere. Half of these people are actually born here. They have an HIMS number, which connects them to a birth certificate, which connects them to this city and this county. Those are our citizens. Let's help them, please.
My name is Andre Chronomopoulos, and I do live here. Some of you know me, you've seen me in the past, you know me from other things. I'm your big supporter of people with developmental disabilities. Now, I thank God I live here and I'm not homeless and I get all the help I can, and I help them when I can. But I'm going to tell you right now, I know our world's changing, and I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to be nice like I'm supposed to. I am not moving back to a city where a lot of people with disabilities do not get the right treatment. And without mentioning what they are, I've had some bad treatments, and not just with just people, but even some police officers, and I didn't even do a thing wrong. But to get to the issue and get off the rabbit trail, there's two issues I have concern about for not only people with disabilities, but I'm starting to stick up for seniors because I'm a senior. Now, I know you already picked, and I understand, the new place for the new fire, for the fire trucks to park in the future. But sir, I don't always have what services I get, and I sometimes ask the church, and I have people through far north who help me to go shopping and stuff, and I go walking all over this town. But because of the homeless, and because of now we just lost a store, we need a new kind of, we had that nice Asian shop, but that's a small place, and a lot of people are not going to buy their food. We need something in the center, in the town. So, and I don't know what you're going to do with that. That's going to be a long ways down the road. But we need something, because either if I can't get a ride and can't catch a bus in time, and you're only so much you can take on the bus, so there's only two places to shop now. Those are two long places in the wintertime. That's not going to work too well. And the other thing is not only for shopping, we just also need to find out some other protection, because I'm a walker and I don't, and so we need, and mentioning no names, I've had some homeless that have thrown food at me and water at me. Now, I've been kind, but I just talked to a cop and they said I should have. But I try to be nice because there was nothing but food and water. Who's going to do what about food and water? But if people are going to be walking the streets who need to walk, because I can't drive, so I need to walk where some of these homeless park themselves. And us people with disabilities are not soon going to be putting up with having people yelling at us, tell us, well, we can't walk, and throw food and water on us. Thank you.
Are there any other public comments this evening? If not, we will move on to item 9, which is the consent agenda. All matters listed on the consent agenda are considered routine and non-controversial and will be enacted by one motion unless any member of the council wishes to remove an item for discussion. A, approval ratification of payments issued from July 6th, 2025 through July 26th, 2025. B, cash balances, budget to actual and fiscal performance reports for May 2025. C, treasurer's report for May 2025. D, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held on July 15th, 2025. E, approval of the minutes of the special meeting held July 23rd, 2025. F, approval of the purchase of first due reporting software for Yreka Fire Department. The recommended action is to adopt the consent agenda as presented. What are the wishes of the council?
I'll make a motion to adopt the consent agenda of the City Council of the City of Yreka as presented.
Council Middleton, I'll second.
I have a motion by Councilmember Claire, second by Councilmember Middleton to approve, to adopt the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 All those opposed? Motion passes unanimously. Item 10, public hearings. We have a public hearing this evening, the planning manager, and it's the 24-25 Deer Creek tentative parcel map public hearing. And this is something that our planning manager is going to explain to us. Thank you.
Good evening, council members. This is your planning manager, Alia Roca Lezra. Tonight, we are holding a public hearing for the Deer Creek tentative parcel map proposed by the Danco Group. We have Travis Schneider on the line, the surveyor on the project, for any technical questions that you might have about the map. City staff received an application from the Danco Group last year to divide the parcel you see on screen into 4 new parcels. The parcel is located along Deer Creek Way, just north of the Deer Creek Apartments, and it is zoned for high-density residential development. The applicant is proposing to build 48 multifamily residential units on parcel 1, which you'll see on the next slide here. Cindy, my clicker's not working. Can you advance? I'll just continue. Here you go. So, bottom left, proposed lot 1 is where you can see kind of a sketch of the development. In terms of the general plan and code consistency, the proposed subdivision would not change the general plan land use designation or the zoning code designation of high density residential. Therefore, the proposed parcel map would conform to the lot standards of the zone that the parcel is in. This project was reviewed against the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, and staff determined that this project is categorically exempt from CEQA as it will not have a significant effect on the environment. So per the Yreka Municipal Code, the City Council can approve the tentative parcel map if it meets the requirements of Title 15 subdivisions of the Municipal Code, the Subdivision Map Act, and the city's zoning code. The City Council can approve this project because the project is consistent with the general plan. The site is suitable for the proposed type and density of development. The project is not likely to cause substantial environmental damage. The project is not likely to cause public health problems, and the project will not conflict with any easements acquired by the public for access through or use within the proposed subdivision. The city staff publicly noticed the project by posting notices in City Hall and Council Chambers, the Siskiyou Daily News, and notifying all property owners within 300 feet of the subject property. Local agencies were also notified, including county, state, and school district offices. The city received 2 comments from Caltrans, which have been incorporated into the conditions of approval for this project, which are attached in your packets. It was also brought up that there is concern around there being adequate access to and from the site for emergency access reasons along Deer Creek Way. The project was routed through our city planning, public works, fire, and police departments, in addition to CAL FIRE and Caltrans, and we received no concerns regarding access to the property. Furthermore, this public hearing is for the proposed subdivision of the parcel, not the development of the actual housing units, which is a process that will begin later down the line. The staff recommendation tonight is that the council approve the attached resolution with conditions. Based on the information presented in the tentative parcel map and application, the findings for approval can be made with the proposed conditions to ensure compliance with the city's subdivision regulations and the Subdivision Map Act. That concludes my presentation. Are there any questions from the council?
Mr. Davis, do you have any questions?
This property is owned by John Richter, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Does he maintain ownership of the property?
I believe so. I believe there is a rental agreement between the applicant and the property owner, but I can double check on that and verify.
The applicant is Danco,
Yes, the applicant's Danco.
so they have a rental agreement?
I believe so. I would have to check with them to confirm exactly what the terms of the agreement are, but I believe they will be leasing it. Yes.
Thank you.
Just a correction, it's not John Richter, it's Jay Richter, I believe, that owns the property, correct, Alia? It's
Jan
Jay Richter?
Jay Richter.
Yes. Not that makes a
Um,
difference who owns it, but I don't, it's the side. Oh. I think it's on. I was stating that it was not the right, it's Jay Richter that owns it, not John Richter, the property.
Okay, I might be confused.
Did you have any questions?
I just want that to be correct. Not that it's public record, not that it matters who owns the property or not, but it's just, it's not who owns the property. They're related, but just for clarification,
Thank you.
but no questions.
Councilmember McCoy, do you have any questions? Thank you. Councilmember Claire? Okay, I do have just a couple of questions for you. It's my understanding, I want to make sure that I've got this down, that this hearing tonight is only to approve the tentative parcel map, that the project itself is not up for any type of approval at this point in time, and that there will be future hearings if this project, the housing project continues to move forward. Is that correct?
So you are correct that tonight you are only approving the tentative parcel map. However, the parcel is zoned high density residential. So the use of the parcel for the 48 unit development is a use by right. So there would be no public hearing required for that development.
Thank you. If there's no further questions, I'll open this up I'll open up the public hearing and invite those who want to comment to please come up to the podium and provide the clerk with please state your name prior to providing your comments.
My name is Marilyn Anderson. I'm a resident of Deer Creek Apartments. And many of us are very concerned about the one-way in and one-way out. If there was a fire up towards Montague Road or a calamity happened, none of us could get out. We couldn't go anywhere. We would be trapped. And there should be another access route. If they're going to build these apartments, there should be an access route for safety for everybody. And so we're very concerned about that. And I know people that don't live by us aren't concerned at all, but we're a senior apartment complex, and then Crystal Glen next door, the mobile homes, they're a lot of seniors too. And it would be just terrible if something happened like a fire and we couldn't get out. So I would really like that to be thought about deeply, because it could mean a lot of people's lives if we couldn't get out. So thank you.
Louise Gliotto, Yreka. I too am concerned about the senior housing there, because the mobile park there is also senior housing. Not only is it senior housing, but there's a lot of people there with special needs and disability. I know of one person who has a roommate, and he and the roommate both have special needs where they have caregivers come in. And if you're to look at the mobile park, there's about 37 plots there. So I don't know how many people to a plot or how many cars they'd have. And you look at Deer Creek and there is 36 residents there. Some of those residents are no longer driving. Some of them are so old or they just are disabled. And then you have 36 at the mobile park, and it sounds as though the housing is 48 units. And I looked at the map and what they describe the units. They're 1 bedroom, 2 bedrooms, 3 bedrooms, 4 bedrooms, and they're only allowing for one and a half vehicles to be on the carport. They're going to be on the street. So you multiply that, that's close to maybe 200 people trying to access that road to get out if there is a fire. And you said that there was no report from CAL FIRE. I'd like to hear what they have to say. Also, did you talk to the Office of Emergency Services? Because that's one of the things they plan for is escape routes when something like that happens. So none of that was on the report. At least I couldn't find it. And also, is it low income housing? What is the rent going to be? I'd like to know what it is. And is the Crossroads completely full? And is there subsidies for people to live there? So none of that was on the plans. At least I couldn't find it. So these are questions that I have, and I would really like some answers. Thank you.
Jan Osborne, Yreka. If I understood Miss Lesra, if the subdivision, the parcel map is approved tonight, there will not be a public hearing on the Danco project of 50 units. Am I correct? Because if that is correct, I urge you to vote no on this parcel map. She also mentioned that this project would go ahead by right, which is the same thing that happened at Siskiyou Crossroads. The people who lived in that area had no idea that there was going to be this multi-unit development housing seriously mentally ill and low income with families. And for many of us, just that combination of people that they were appealing to was not right. Why would you want to put children in a complex with seriously mentally ill on purpose? The project that I have read it is going to be almost like Siskiyou Crossroads as far as having the county provide services. I think they've already agreed to that. But I think at this time, it's better to see what happens with the Crossroads. If it's full, how that's going. They have room to expand there. Why put another place like the Crossroads in another section of town where it's going to upset the whole community that's there right now, when they could add whatever they need on the property at the Crossroads? Please do not approve this map.
Well, as I understand, my name is Dusty Veal. I live in Yreka. I understand you're just approving tonight the parcel map and not the project itself. Is that correct?
Yes.
So getting into the nuts and bolts of the project, it's not tonight, right? Is that correct? You can answer it. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's not,
Yes.
it's not, yeah. So that's so what we're talking about is not really for the decision, you don't like the project or not. It's the parcel map that you're splitting,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
Are there any other public comments? Would the planning manager like to address any of the concerns that were brought up during public comment at this time or not?
I can address the concern surrounding the affordable housing concern that Jan mentioned. So the city was hoping to apply for a home key project for a 50-unit development in addition to this 48-unit development. So it would have been a 98-unit development, including 48 market rate houses or 48 market rate apartments and 50 affordable units. However, we were unsuccessful in following through with the home key application for 50 units. So what's left of the project for now is the 48 market rate units. I hope that clarifies.
And also, can you clarify for us that I believe that you said that Caltrans, Yreka Police Department, Yreka Fire Department, were contacted and they did not list any concerns about the ingress or egress?
So yes, these plans were routed through Public Works, Fire, Caltrans, and Cal Fire, and they did not have any concerns that they reported to me regarding the access when I notified them of this project.
Thank you so much. At this time, since there's no further public comment, I'm going to go ahead and close the public hearing and bring it back to City Council for deliberation. Anybody, Councilmember McCoy, do you have any comments?
I definitely have comments. We just kicked 20 tent camps off of Homeless Hill. We have nowhere to put them. This is an area where we can put people before they become homeless. This is an area, I know there were concerns over the ingress and egress, but I trust our fire chief, I trust our police chief, and I trust our planning to do traffic. I mean, we trust them when we let 550 Yreka High School kids walk down 20 different streets or 10 different streets for a parade, but we can't trust them for something as simple as a master plan. This city has long been, and I'm a flatlander because I've only been here 40 years. This city has long been a place where people are having difficulty finding homes. Mr. Veal knows because he built some up there. He's got some senior citizen housing up there. And again, you know, I've been in and out, and it seems like the seniors that are up there can get in and out if they can drive. If they can't drive, I'm not sure what anybody does if you can't drive. So, I mean, I think, and this is a by right project. So, I mean, if we don't put it there, I don't know, maybe put it, you know, put it up near Minor Street Park or something like that. Put it up near Discovery Park. But I mean, we have to do something about housing, and this council owes this community both low income, moderate, and regular housing. I mean, the average person that is moving up here right now is selling a home in the Bay Area, in Orange County, in the Los Angeles area for $1.2 million to $1.9 million. They can come up here and they can drive all of our prices up. They can pay whatever they want to pay for a home. And so, you know, what we're doing is we're driving people like the five of us that are in council. We're driving the price. We're allowing the price to be driven up that way. We heard Mr. Economopoulos speak tonight. I've known Andre now for probably 20 years, maybe. You know, if we didn't have affordable housing, what's that? Yeah, he wouldn't. He definitely wouldn't be here. These are the people that we're trying to help. We are certainly not. We're not trying to put people up there that are, you know, that are chronically mental ill. And with all due respect, you know, I don't think that being unhoused or needing help finding a house by definition makes you chronically mental ill. So, you know, and I appreciate somebody mentioned about CAL FIRE and the Office of Emergency Services. I got to tell you, OES, what did they do this morning? They told us we had a problem with our air. They told us at 8:30. It occurred at 7:15. Yeah, OES did a bang up job there, and then declared us at 9:15. We need to help some people that may be chronically. We may have a mother who's gone through a divorce, and this mother has 2 or 3 kids. It's not up to us to judge her. It's up us to try and help her pull up so that she can move somewhere like that, and then maybe in 3 or 4 years she's got the money to move into a house up on Lane Street or somewhere else, or she's got and in 10 years she's able to buy a house. So, I mean, you know, So, and CAL FIRE, their bag is not fires in a city. Our fire chief up there, Chief Lemus, his bag is city. They go out and help on wildfires when they're needed. But that's their number one thing is to worry about this city, the 1,700 citizens in this city. So we have to trust them. If we don't trust them to give us their opinion and take it, then we need to dump them. We need to fire them. We need to have our city manager fire them. I mean, that means we're not giving any credence to what our chief of police and what our chief of fire is saying. So, thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember McCoy. Councilmember Davis?
I think for the type of, the subdivision sounds just fine to me. And if they're gonna put, middle income, low income, and, these people are working people, most of them, so seems like we're directing it towards a proper type of people. I'm kind of in favor of the subdivision. That's what we're dealing with first, so I'm in favor of that.
Thank you. Councilmember Middleton? Any comments?
Just one comment is that if we continue having a lack of housing, we're going to continue to have a drive in prices where people do not have affordability. When people are renting a 3-bedroom, 1-bath home for $1,500 a month in the city of Yreka, that's 964 square feet. We have a huge problem, but it's not going to get better. We don't do housing. So we have a crisis and it's not going to continue. It's going to continue if we have the NIMBYs and we have the people who are saying, no, not in my backyard, not in this location. We have zoning for a reason that these communities can go into these places. We have zoning for stores. They get to go into these places. No matter if you like it or not, this is the way it's designed so cities can prosper. If we don't prosper, we might as well just close City Hall and shut down our city because we have to honor the zoning and honor what the reports come back to our staff and what they're reporting to us. People may not like it, but if we continue the path we're on, we're going to be in trouble as a city. We're not going to have people living here. We're not going to have people working here, and it's going to be a ghost town. So that's my comment. And like I said, this is just approval of the subdivision dividing or the tentative map to divide the parcel, and more is to come down the road. We're hearing speculation of what might be, what could be, what might happen. That's all speculation. We don't know until it gets in front of us and they have the plan. So with that, I think it's a great plan to move that parcel forward that's been sitting vacant for a long time. They had hopes for a lot of dreams back of the golf course, housing, everything, and it's sitting vacant. How many years later? 30 years later, and it's still sitting as a vacant parcel. So thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Claire? Any comments? All right. I also have no comments on this as it is just the approval of that tentative parcel map. And the recommended action this evening is a motion to approve City Council Resolution 2025-29, a resolution of the City Council of the City of Yreka recommending approval for a tentative parcel map number 2024-25 for the subdivision of one 46.27 acre parcel into 4 parcels with conditions and adoptions of a Class 15 categorical exemption from the California Environmental Quality Act. What are the desires of the council?
Councilman Middleton, I'll make the motion to approve.
Councilman McCoy, I'll second Councilman Middleton's motion.
I have a motion by Councilmember Middleton, a second by Councilmember McCoy to approve this resolution as I previously read it into the record. Will the clerk please take a roll call vote?
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Councilmember Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy?
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton? Councilmember Claire? Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you. Okay, the next item is city business. The city Manager. This is the second reading of ordinance number 882, amending chapters 2.28 and 9.48 concerning the fire department. Mr. Elsnab, good evening.
Good evening, council. John Elsnab, interim city manager. For the second reading of ordinance number 882, amending chapters 2.28 and 9.48 concerning the fire department, I want to give a summary. The first reading of ordinance number 882 was held at a regular city council meeting July 15th, 2025. The initial reading proposed revisions to the city's municipal code for chapter 2.28 fire department and chapter 9.48 miscellaneous offenses. City staff believes the proposed revisions are in the best interest of the city, and the ordinances have been reviewed by the city attorney pursuant to chapter 1.24.270 ordinances, resolutions, and contracts of the city of the Yreka Municipal Code. Once ordinance number 882 is adopted by the city council, the ordinance will take effect on September 4th, 2025. As far as the fiscal impact, there is no direct fiscal impact by amending the city's municipal code. This ordinance is also exempt from CEQA, and the recommended action would be staff recommends motion to waive the full reading of the ordinance and approve the second reading as listed, as well as directing the city clerk to publish a summary of ordinance 882. And lastly, allowing the city manager to direct staff to take all actions required for adoption and implementation of ordinance 882.
Thank you. Do any members of the city council have questions for Mr. Elsnab? All right. I will now open this up for public comment. There is no public comment, so I will bring it back to the council is there any discussion on this item? Okay, so we have the recommended city council action, a motion to waive the full reading of ordinance. Let me find it.
882.
A motion to waive the full reading of the ordinance and approve the second reading of ordinance 882 entitled An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Yreka, California, amending chapter 2.28 of the Yreka Municipal Code entitled Fire Department and chapter 9.48 miscellaneous offenses, and finding the ordinance is exempt from CEQA, and directing the city clerk to publish a summary of ordinance 882 consistent with government code section 36933, and directing the city manager to take all actions required for adoption and implementation of this ordinance.
This is Councilman McCoy. So moved.
I have a motion by Council Member McCoy.
I will second the motion.
Second by Council Member Davis. Will the city clerk please read the title of the ordinance into the record?
Okay, ordinance number 882, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Yreka, California, amending chapter 2.28 of the Yreka Municipal Code entitled Fire Department and chapter 9.48 miscellaneous offenses, and finding the ordinance exempt from CEQA.
Thank you. And will the clerk also please take a roll call vote?
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Councilmember Davis?
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy?
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton? Councilmember Claire? Councilmember Baker?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
The next item on the agenda is also the city manager, and it's the second reading of ordinance number 884, amending Yreka Municipal Code, chapter 2.54, city property trespassing.
Thank you, Mayor Baker. So to give a summary for the second reading, the first reading of ordinance number 884 was held at a regular city council meeting on July 15th, 2025. The initial reading proposed revisions to the city's municipal code for chapter 2.54.010 city property trespassing, along with an urgency ordinance that took effect immediately. City staff believes the proposed revisions are in the best interest of the city, and the ordinance has been reviewed by the city attorney pursuant to chapter 1.24.270 ordinances, resolutions, contracts of the Yreka Municipal Code. Once ordinance number 884 is adopted by the city council, the ordinance will take effect on September 4th, 2025. For as far as a fiscal impact, there is no direct fiscal impact by amending the city's municipal code. This ordinance is also exempt from CEQA. And the recommended action would be staff recommends motion to waive full reading of the ordinance presented and approve the second reading of ordinance 884. Along with direct the city clerk to publish a summary of 884 consistent with the government code section 36933. And lastly, the city manager is directed to take all other actions required for adoption and implementation of ordinance 884.
Thank you. Does the council have any questions of Mr. Elsnab? I'll open it up for public comment at this time. There is no public comment, so I will bring it back to the council for discussion and action. Do any of the council members have any discussion? What are the desires of the council?
This is Councilman McCoy. I will make the motion to waive the full reading of ordinance and approve second reading of ordinance 884 titled "An Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Yreka, California, amending chapter 2.54 to the Yreka Municipal Code entitled City Property - Trespassing, close quote, and I'm sorry, city property - trespassing, close quote, and finding such ordinance exempt from CEQA. Number 2, direct city clerk to publish a summary of ordinance 884 consistent with the government code section 36933. And number 3, the city manager is directed to take all other actions required for adoption and implementation of ordinance 884. Thank you.
Council Middleton, I'll second the motion.
I have a motion from Council Member McCoy, second by Council Member Middleton to approve this ordinance. Will the clerk please read the title of the ordinance into the record?
Okay, ordinance number 884, an ordinance of the City Council of the City of Yreka, California, amending chapter 2.54 to the Yreka Municipal Code entitled City Property Trespassing, and finding and determining that this ordinance is not subject to the California Environmental Quality Act pursuant to CEQA guidelines sections 15061B3 and 15378.
Thank you. And will the clerk also take a roll call vote?
All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
Councilmember McCoy.
Aye.
Councilmember Middleton. Councilmember Claire.
Aye.
Councilmember Baker.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Item C is the planning manager, and this is the inclusionary housing and commercial linkage fee policy analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hello again. Continuing on the topic of housing, we're discussing an inclusionary housing and commercial linkage fee policy analysis. This is Alia Roca Lezra, your planning manager. I'm going to see if this works now. Okay, I'm gonna go with asking Cindy to advance, please. I'm joined by Housing Tools, James Coles, the principal of Housing Tools tonight, who will be answering any technical questions you might have during the presentation. Next slide, please. So with the help of Housing Tools, we have been analyzing ways to increase the city's housing supply. We have a need to produce 90 low, very low, and extremely low income units and 150 moderate income units, or 240 total units. And these numbers are defined in our housing element. And we have the need for 240 units over the next 8 years. So this analysis provides a study for implementing fees and other requirements on commercial development that could increase the affordable housing stock in the city. These studies are a requirement in the city's housing element. So beyond this, if the city council chooses not to move forward with a linkage fee nexus study or an inclusionary housing ordinance, we have met our requirement through our housing element simply by conducting this study. Next slide, please. So the next 2 slides are some definitions for words that I'll be using throughout the presentation. They're also in your PowerPoint packets, so you can refer to those throughout. Can you advance 2 slides, please, Cindy? Yes. So what is an inclusionary housing ordinance? An inclusionary housing ordinance requires new housing projects to set aside a certain percentage of units as affordable to lower income residents. This would help address the local housing need without relying on federal state subsidies or the general fund. So these private housing developers would bring housing to our city and it would come out of their pockets, not the general fund or a grant. This is beneficial as it provides more affordable housing choices than what the market would offer. Next slide, please. Furthermore, this would promote mixed income communities, and the recommended policy that we came up with through the study would produce an estimated 38 to 76 low-income affordable units over the next 5 years, inching us closer to that 240 unit goal. Next slide, please. So the assumptions that we used in our study, there were 2 pro formas, one for a rental housing model and one for a for sale housing model. These are the only 2 that really led to an adequate return on investment for the housing developer. So that would be 50 unit minimum for a rental housing development with a set aside of 10% of units as low income, or the option for the developer to pay an in lieu fee of $100,000 per required set aside unit. In the for sale housing model, there would be a 30 unit minimum for the development to provide an adequate return for the investor, with a set aside of 10% of units as median income, or a set aside of 10% of units as low income and 10% as median income with a density bonus, which is a state law, and a waiver of development impact fees. In the for sale housing model, the developer would also have the option to pay the in lieu fee of $100,000 per required set aside unit. Next slide, please. I'll move on to the commercial linkage fee policy. So this is basically a development impact fee. It's a fee charged on new commercial construction projects to fund affordable housing projects. The linkage is justified by how an increase in commercial development will lead to an increase in population, in more workers needing housing, needing a place to live. This, again, would help address our local housing need without relying on federal, state subsidies or the city's general fund. Through this study, we found that the recommended policy would generate an estimated $200,000 to $300,000 in funding for affordable housing projects over the next 5 years. So again, this is essentially a housing development impact fee. It would be assessed on a per square foot basis for new construction, like a development impact fee. Next slide, please. In our review, we looked at several cities that have implemented a commercial linkage fee, one of them being the city of Mammoth Lakes. They are a rural city comparable to the city of Yreka. in terms of their rural nature, the population. And they have implemented a linkage fee of $2 per square foot for retail and office developments and $1 per square foot for industrial developments. And it is recommended from our feasibility analysis that the city adopt similar fees should the council decide to go forward with a linkage fee study. Next slide, please. So the recommendation for you tonight would be to adopt a linkage fee similar to Mammoth Lakes to generate that 200,000 to 300,000 over the next 5 years. However, you do have two options before you tonight. One would be to prepare a nexus study as a next step in developing a commercial linkage fee ordinance, or to prepare an inclusionary housing ordinance for city council review. And I misspoke. You technically have 4 options. We could do nothing. We could pursue both. It's really up to you all. That linkage fee would be the staff recommendation. And I welcome any questions from the council.
Thank you. Mr. McCoy, no questions? Mr. Middleton? Mr. Davis, questions?
I don't think I totally understand what you asking for on this one-page city of Mammoth Lakes. That is what you're kind of setting your goal on, is
That would be the recommended model that we came up with through doing the feasibility study, would be a model similar to the city of Mammoth Lakes with that $1 and $2 impact fee.
it could be different amounts, but that's
Yes, it could be different amounts. There are different variables that the city council could change. However, that's just the type of model, that per square foot impact fee, and it could be a different amount.
And this is recommended for retail and office and industrial. What about residential?
So this fee would solely be implemented on commercial development, because the linkage there is the relationship between say a new say a Costco went in the city of Yreka. We would assume that there would be many workers that they would need to hire, and those workers would need housing. The inclusionary housing ordinance that I presented first, however, that is more inclusive of low-income housing as a part of housing development.
Thank you.
Councilmember Claire, you have questions? I have a couple of questions. First of all, I would just like to state that this was a lot of information for me to digest. But thank you for the packet that you provided to us. It has a lot of really good information in it. My question regarding the inclusionary housing ordinance is it, this will affect private developers as well as commercial developers like Danco?
So this would apply to more private housing developers, including a developer like Danco.
Okay. And could the developers decide if we have you move forward with creating an ordinance, could one of the options be that the developer gets to decide if they want to provide a certain number of lower income housing units, or pay the amounts that you listed in your presentation?
Yeah, it's my understanding that through the process of creating an ordinance, we would get council input, and that there would be that option to either set aside units as part of a project, say 10% of units. If there were a 50-unit residential development going in and we had a 10% requirement, they could either set aside 5 units to be low income housing, or pay $100,000 for each unit for a total of $500,000 that would go into a housing trust fund in the city's budget.
Thank you. That's the question that I had. So if there's no further questions, I'm going to open it up for public comment at this time.
My name again is Andres Economopoulos. And so that I don't do rabbit chasing, I just want to make sure that, first of all, that so I stay on trail, that a lot of this is more of housing type, which is like, thank you, because we do need not only for more people who getting out of big towns, it's costing too much and they're going this way, because especially because of the fires. But if I have to come in someone's office and talk more about this later, I would be glad to. Why you're planning this? Because I know that while you're doing one project and they want you to do another project, we know it's billions of dollars anymore, and you only can do so much at one time. So that's why I'd be glad to come to someone's office. But I thought you could hear me say that there's something else new that should be coming up for those with people with disabilities. Now I'm turning 70 and I still like to have my own office by myself with what work I do with people with disabilities. I'm not going to tell you where right now, but right now, and thank God it's only $75 a month. And it's only because it can't go high because it's a historical piece of property. It's also upstairs. I can't do it if I want to have a client to do a job because it's upstairs. And if they fall downstairs, guess who's going to get sued? So what I would like you to plan on, start also putting into your plans, even if it's down the road, also start thinking about, since a lot of people with low income now get to have, they don't have to work in little workshops where they get piece rate. They're now working minimum wage. You know, some of them have to fight with SSI of how much money they make. But you know what the new thing I dream of? And Santa Rosa has done this. And I know, thank God, that you're turning your library into such a thing for other professionals. But it would be nice if you can pick a piece of property that you can have low income business offices or stores where people with disabilities can learn how to rent with real rent money and have a business of their own. This is just something to consider. Okay, thank you.
Lorenzo Love. All you mentioned trust fund. Is all this money going to go into a trust fund? The $2 and $1 per square foot plus $100,000 in lieu of building low income. Is all this going to go in the trust fund, or is it going to go in the black hole of the general fund? Because if it goes in the general fund, it's never going to be seen again. It's just a way of driving up. It's a money grab, and it's going to drive up the cost of building. It needs to be in a sequestered trust fund.
Jan Osborne, Yreka. The very title of this agenda item put up a red flag for me. Inclusionary. As a country, we recently voted, well, in 24, for a president who said he was going to get rid of DEI, diversity, equity, inclusivity. This to me sounds like just shifting all the costs of housing to the private developer. And I'm not a private developer, but if I were, and there's probably a lot of things I don't know because I've not been in that business, but if I had to say, if I build 50 units and 10%, that would be 5, that I have to offer as low income ones. I've asked the question to the planning manager, are these units all of the same quality, or are the low income ones different in the quality of the furnishings or the construction materials, or are they all the same? I didn't get an answer, but she's going to check. As a buyer, if I were buying a house, wanted to buy a house in a development, and let's say I'm at the area median income or above, and so I'm going to pay market rate. I'm not going to be happy that somebody else is going to live in the same kind of house for maybe, instead of what I'm paying, let's say 200,000, for 150 or 100,000. Why they get a break? It's because of inclusivity, diversity, equity. And think about what DEI has done to our education system. Many school systems don't even want to do standardized tests because too many people fail. Well, if any people are failing, then the teachers aren't doing a very good job if they can't get a grade level score on a standardized test. I would urge you, since this is not a state mandate that you have inclusionary housing and the commercial linkage, why would I bring a business to Yreka when there are already all kinds of fees that you have to pay, build a business, bring workers or hire local, and have to pay an extra fee so they can be housed? It does not make sense to me. Please consider doing nothing about this.
Is there any further public comment? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. E. You're allowed to speak one time. Thank you. Okay, I'm going to close public comment and bring it back to the council for discussion. Mr. Davis?
I'm good, thank you.
Mr. McCoy?
Many communities are already doing this, are doing these linkage fee policy analysis. Again, Mammoth is a I think all of you did in the service when you sit here on par with them. They're kind of high income. They're above us, but that's not the point. The point is, it's a very nice. It's a very high income. I know that when they hired schools administrators, gym membership, in order to get them to come there because it's such beautiful stuff. Like gym membership to get a ski pass for the whole family. My point is that, and we've talked about this before with our previous city managers. We have had quite a few businesses come into Yreka, and at the time that they came in, we did not charge them other fees. We had waived those other fees, and so when those businesses came in, when we talked to the city, one of the things they said, "So no, we're prepared to waive this. We are prepared to do this." And the developer, this is part of what they're doing business. This is a much less expensive area. Whether you're building homes or condos, it's a much less expensive area than building it in Orange County, than building it in San Bernardino County, Riverside County, Los Angeles County, Alameda County, Sacramento County, even in Redding. It's a lot less expensive to buy land here. And so, I mean, this is something that I don't believe will drive people away. And I certainly, as far as the inclusion goes, I have a nephew who's 50 years old with Down syndrome, and I would hate to see him aced out of a group home. Very gentle person. He doesn't give anybody stuff. He doesn't have head to the bone, but he has a strict conclusion. I would hate to see him not allowed to move in somewhere because of his Down syndrome. That's what I'm looking as far as inclusivity goes. And I think inclusivity takes lots of different ways. So, but I think this is something that if it's a way again. We hear people say they want services. Well, how many people are we gonna subsidize when they come in? We've been subsidizing people to build homes. I mean, we've been subsidizing their water. We just changed that. We're still actually subsidizing the water because we only raised it 6%, not 9%. So the city's paying the bill for, 7,800, how many homes we have there, 12 or 14 or 1,500 homes. Are we gonna continue to subsidize businesses and industrial alternatives? Is that how bad we need them? We can go ahead and pay them to come here? I don't think so. Hey, I'm sorry, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. McCoy. Mr. Middleton?
No.
Mr. Claire? Well, I would just like to say that I could see the benefit of a linkage fee ordinance. And I have no doubt in my mind that if the city council were to adopt a linkage fee ordinance, that we would ensure that the money was being set aside properly. I personally would like some more time to just do a little bit of further research and just really making sure that I understand the full impact of the inclusionary housing ordinance. So that's where I'm coming from.
Madam Mayor, if I could, she's not asking for action. She's just asking for direction as to move
Right.
forward with this and then come back and talk about it. And I think that if we allow them to move forward, they can bring things back to us and we can accept, reject, change, do what happens. But if we stop it right now in its tracks for, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 weeks, then we're putting ourselves behind the 8 ball, whether we adopt it or we choose not to adopt it.
Is it all right if I add to the conversation? So yes, if we take the inclusionary housing ordinance route, we would draft an ordinance on our end and bring it back to council for feedback and input. If we go with the linkage fee nexus study, we would include that as part of our comprehensive diff study that is upcoming in the next couple of months, I believe, if you wanted to move forward on that front. So this is simply a feasibility study. We're trying to determine if you have any interest in moving forward with either or both or none of these.
So you don't need like a formal motion to move forward tonight, or just general council direction?
Just direction tonight.
Okay.
I would like to see them move forward. I am tired of the city of Yreka subsidizing services. We don't have the money to do it. So what do? If we continue to subsidize 5 or 10 or 12 years down the road, we shut this office down and we let people go out and go back to work using their wells like they did during the Depression here in town that I read about. I'm tired of not being able to provide the services because we don't charge, because we're not proud enough of our city to charge the money that people will pay to come in and live in our city. And that just bothers me that we don't have the council have not had the pride for the last 30 or 40 years. That's why this council was well, probably before Mr. Clare came up, but that's why the past council ended up having to raise diff fees for water and different things like that. And it will have to be done again because we're still not, with the current diff fees for water, we're not covering the water. We're losing money. So we end up, that's okay. We pull it out of general fund. And then when the general fund's gone, we're done. So I would like to see us move forward with the study.
Ditto. I'm gonna say move forward.
Thank you. So the council direction is to move forward with both preparing an inclusionary housing ordinance and then preparing a nexus study in preparation for developing a commercial linkage fee ordinance.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right. Item 11F, the city manager and staff reports. Mr. Elsnab.
Good evening, council. I have a couple quick updates. First one I want to start with is the reservoir host update, formerly known as the park host. The city is currently working on filling the reservoir host position at Greenhorn Reservoir. It's been a few years since the position has been vacant, so right now we're reviewing for accuracy, the job description for accuracy and legal updates. I expect the city's review will be done in the next week or so, and then we can look forward to initiating a recruitment or searching for candidates. We also understand this is an important position for the community, and we look forward towards filling that vacancy. The second update, I wanted to give a quick one on just where we're at with the fire department as far as recruitment. 2 verbal offers have been accepted for the fire captain position and 1 for the firefighter position. One of those positions is anticipated to start in mid-August. So we'll have that candidate at a future city council meeting for introduction and a presentation. Very excited about that. Our other candidate is in background checks and most likely will be onboarded sometime in September. We also have applied for the SAFER grant, which helps with long-term staffing plans. And the plan is still to hire 6 paid firefighters, along with continuing to move forward with building the new fire hall. So just wanted to give a quick update.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Council. Chief Gilman, YPD. So I was going to talk about some stats, but also wanted to talk about the camp cleanup because that's been a hot topic with everything, and I haven't done any type of press release or anything. It actually went very smooth. These are just some photos that Cindy's going to show. These aren't selective photos. I didn't just pick campsites. This is the entire campground. So we closed the area for public safety and we went out and made notifications. It was very smooth, contrary to what some of the reports have said on the media and what some of the Facebook have said. We went out there, we started on the 16th, started notifying people what we were going to do. The overall response was actually positive. A lot of the people that were in this area thanked us. They said it was about time that it happened. We went back a week later and started with the first site, and there was probably less than 8 people there at noon. I think 3 is what I saw. They were asking us for a little bit more time to move stuff, so we helped them. Our officers and the city crew helped some people load property. We took some property to a person's house that he actually had a place to stay, so we helped him transport it. It went very smooth. The following week, we went up on the hill, which was off of Campus Drive. And that's what these last pictures are. And there was probably 10 people there in the morning. Everyone else had left on their own. They were very cooperative. We told them we'd be back at noon to start the cleanup. When we got back there was less than 8 there. They were still packing. We assisted again with several people moving property. We took some into storage per their request because they didn't have anywhere to take it all. So we've got it stored for them in a locked container. Overall, it went very well. I mean, reading the media reports was just atrocious. Everyone was extremely cooperative. Nobody was arrested. Nobody was cited. Everyone was thankful we were there and we helped people move their stuff. I've seen some reports too that people said that they're going to be all over town and, things are going bad. This had nothing to do with the homeless. This was for our critical infrastructure for fire danger, erosion. After we did the cleanup, the first cleanup, we had a flood then, or the next night we had a flood. And actually it was a very good thing we got people out of the creek and got the property out of the creek. It didn't cause it to plug up. Some of the first pictures you see on here was the creek thing that without what the city public works had done, it probably would have had a huge flood back there because of all the campsites that would have plugged up the creek. So actually everything worked out very well. I was very happy with that. And we haven't really seen an increase in anything. There's been some homeless in town. A lot of people have been asking to leave. We've offered some tickets for people. We gave a train ride to a guy today that wanted to go back home, and we provided that to him. So it's been very positive overall, and nothing like what you'd read on the media. In the 3 months that since I think I haven't reported here in quite a while, we've had 5,000 calls for service on the street, over 400 cases. In the last couple of weeks, in town proper, we've had a shooting, we've had some knife fights, and people have been arrested. A few violent things which happen in the summertime, some stolen cars, stuff like that. But all in all, it's still pretty much status quo. Everything seems to be about the same. And we've had a few arrests in the closed area since then, but most of those are for drugs or for other things. So all in all, I think everything's going just fine. I don't think we should believe everything we hear or read. So if you have any questions, otherwise I just wanted to show you what some of the stuff we encountered, some of the fire danger we saw. That's a burned up fire pit that burned up underneath the freeway. So CAL FIRE was very happy. They came out there and they noticed quite a few fire dangers. So it was a good thing that we did what we did.
Thank you. Anybody have any questions for Chief Gilman?
All right. Thank you very much.
you.
Have a good night.
Chief.
All right, moving along to item G, which is the mayor, council members, reports, statements, and requests. Mr. Middleton, start with you tonight.
Nothing to report really. I do have a COC meeting tomorrow, which will be my first one to be head voting member, I guess, for the city of Yreka. So we'll be, because the last one was canceled. So I will be there tomorrow. Sorry about that. They need to fix this microphone for me on a list. It's moving. So the COC meeting tomorrow, we have that. So I'll be there tomorrow afternoon. Behavioral health. Just want to make sure I had the one item not put on this week that I requested for the reopening of City Hall on Fridays to be back for the next scheduled meeting. So if we could have that back on, and I will get that to you this time since things have settled down in life a little bit. I've received a lot of positive feedback. Thank you to all the staff at YPD and every Public Works, everybody who was involved for the cleanup. Yes, it was not easy. Yes, it was hard in a lot of people's eyes, but it was long overdue. I think it needed to happen. I'm hoping, I'm an optimistic person. I'm hoping that the people will seek resources now that that need to get the help they need to get further on with their life or betterment or what have you. And I hope they do find the resources to find a home, find shelter, and get that opportunity in life that a lot of us are living, and they can move on. And I'm hoping this is just a first step. And I haven't heard any complaints that it was harsh. Just by a couple of media, I was very disappointed in reading the media reports about it. It was quite disgusting. It was not factual or truthful, but I'm not going to name the news crew, but it was just very horrendous. So thank you to everybody, YPD, for taking care of it. The businesses I've talked to down by the creek area are very grateful. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a hardship for a while of getting people placed or getting people the help or getting them to where they need to be. And hopefully the next step we'll be working on that. It's just figuring out how many people are going to be left that need the resources. And I guess that time will come and we'll hear more from behavioral health or SCOC or what is the next step of the solution, where it be an urban campground or what have you. So I look forward because we know that there's going to be a need for something else, but we just don't know where that's at right now. We know this was the next step that we needed to do, is get that hill and for infrastructure to be cleaned up. With that, let's see, the Siskiyou Golden Fair kicks off this week. So it's fair time in Yreka. So hopefully everybody gets out, enjoys the fair. I know this is the last year they're going to be in August. They'll move to into June next year. And I believe it's their 150th year, correct? They're celebrating this year?
100.
100? Oh, 100? No, I'm placing them older. Thought it's been there longer. Well, 100 years is still long. So their 100th year, but this will be the last August fair. Next year they go to into June. And so hopefully everybody gets out and enjoys the fair and everything they have to offer. I know they've made a lot of changes with things. So it's hard to believe that we're in August and people are starting school and are soon starting. But with that, I will say thank you and everybody have a good night.
Thank you. Mr. Davis?
The Fire Safe Council did not meet because all of the players that are the big guys of Forest Service, CAL FIRE, they were all busy. So there was nobody attending. So meeting was canceled or both canceled. So that's what I have to say.
Thank you. Mr. McCoy?
Yeah, I want to just say kudos to a few people. Last Saturday and the Saturday prior, there were events held in Yreka. And those events were for the unhoused, or if we want to call them homeless. Those events included medical screening, free medical screening, sign up for housing, and for other benefits, help in getting in touch with VA, and a meal, a very basic meal, and some water, and a chance for some of the homeless to talk about what some of their concerns were, not with the city, their concerns with their lives and what they wanted to do with their, those that wanted to get out, those that wanted more help. I have to give special kudos to John Elsnab and Juliana, if she's up there, and all four of my colleagues, because it was the city who helped to sponsor this. I want to give also kudos to Fairchild Medical Center and John Andrus, because we had a great medical team there. I want to give kudos to NVCSS because they also were there. The first one was on their property at base camp. The second one was at the Grange. I want to thank the Grange for letting us use it. I want to give kudos also to Dr. Sarah Collard, Madeline Bryan, Tara Kilcollins, for being there and for helping. And it was interesting to listen to some of the stories. It's interesting to see what they want, because I talked to 4 or 5 that want to get into housing. It's interesting to see how they got into being homeless or unhoused, and how many are looking for help. I enjoyed being there all day the first Saturday. I could not make it the second Saturday. I don't know if any of you made it on the second Saturday, but it was wonderful being there for the 5 or 5.5 hours that we were there. It does help us to understand as council people who are making decisions on housing and ordinances and that sort of thing for the unhoused. It's helpful to be able to chat with them. A particular shout out to Base Camp and Tara Kilcollins. I've been checking with her. She's got me on speed dial and I have her on speed dial. Since the homeless were moved off of the hill, she has not increased one person. They're averaging 16 to 17 a night. They have 32 beds. That doesn't mean we don't need more, don't need areas like a supervised campground or something like that. But it's wonderful because I said, Tara, we need to know as a council if our decisions that we're making are impacting you and impacting the homeless. She said, right now they're not, but she said, like I said, we're on speed dial. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of bring that up. I also did we have somebody help us with large equipment at the, was that an Evans by any chance? Well, I want to thank Tyler Evans for essentially donating what was probably for a day $5,000 to $7,000 worth of his tractor work. Tyler's a product of our local schools, and Tyler gives back to the community in many ways. But I do want to thank him for that. So, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You know what you need to say? We have a celebrity in our midst. You know that, right? He just climbed Mount Shasta.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr.
John
McCoy.
just climbed Mount Shasta.
Thank you.
Wasn't easy.
Mr. Claire?
I think the only thing I have is, I think we have a Citizen of the Year committee meeting later this month, but I'm not 100% sure if it's going to go yet. They haven't got back to me. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thank you. Let me see. On July 21st, I spoke as the city's representative at the opening ceremony of Project Base Camp. And I had the opportunity to tour the 32-bed facility, as well as Six Stones Wellness Center. And I was so impressed with all of the programming, all of the assistance that is available to anybody in the community, basically from Six Stones. They gave me a calendar of all of the different classes and groups that they have, and their calendar is filled. And those classes are open to the public. And, you know, I have heard nothing but positive comments about our infrastructure cleanup. I actually am so encouraged that a community our size, we are able to offer so many services and different programming to our community's most vulnerable population. And you know, my hope and prayer is that this population takes advantage of the services. I have had the opportunity to speak with a friend of mine who is unhoused and to listen to his concerns. And so I agree with you, Mr. McCoy, that it's really important that we are hearing from the unhoused community, because we at this council are going to be making more decisions in the future. And we certainly want to do that based on input from the unhoused community. And I think I just want to close again by once again saying thank you to all of the department heads and the city employees who really the last couple of weeks between storms and infrastructure cleanup have really gone above and beyond for the city. And I am just so proud of everybody. And with that, I am just going to close the meeting. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Have a good evening.